Hey there, I'm Adrienne. Welcome back to Better Days Start Today. Today is a winter magic session, and this is a seasonal writing session right here inside the Better Days Start Today podcast. I'm your host, Adrienne. I absolutely love the winter, and I'm currently living in Idaho, so it is cold, and there has been some snow already. To me, it is the absolute perfect time to write and get cozy. I wanted to create these special episodes because one, my love for the season, for winter, for Christmas, for all of the holiday magic, all of the winter magic, but also because I wanted to do something a little bit different than what's already available. There are a ton of podcasts and books out there that'll help you plan the season. It'll give you great tips for getting through the holidays. But these episodes are meant to actually give you a place to take a pause during everything else that might be going on. So, this is for you to take time for yourself. December has a way of taking on a life of its own. So, even with the best intentions, this is often the point where things start to feel like they're moving a bit fast, everything feels louder, we're being pulled in 1,000 different directions. There are family events, there's school plays, there's work events, everything is going on in this month as we're cruising up to the holidays. And we're just about right in the middle of December. So I don't know about you, but this is about the time where things start to feel like they're going off the rails a little bit if we're not careful. And that's completely normal. If you started December wanting it to feel a certain way and now you feel completely off track, it happens. The season has this hustle and bustle about it, but if you are here today, just give yourself a moment. This writing session is about pausing long enough to choose again. It's all about reclaiming our intention. We're not fixing anything. Rather, we are reconnecting with what matters. It's a space to reflect, and there's no right way to write. So show up however you need to. I would say grab a notebook and a pen, but just give yourself the gift of stepping away from everything else that's going on and take a little bit of time for yourself. When we start the prompts, I will read them off to you. They'll be up on the screen, or, if you're listening, I will read them off to you. And then I'm going to play a little bit of music. It's about a 2-minute long song, and we're going to use the same one for all 3 prompts. If you don't like the music, of course, turn down your volume. And if you need more time at the end, pause it and just keep going if you're in that flow of writing. So we will get to that. To kick off the session, I pulled an oracle card right before we hit record. And I love oracle cards. They are a great way to see what bubbles up with your intuition. So the deck that I used is the Seasons of the Witch Yule Oracle. And I love this for winter because it follows the emotional and energetic rhythm of the season. Winter brings longer, darker days and tends to reveal what's sustainable and what isn't. And we have to be more intentional with where we place our energy. And I feel like the cards and the deck itself really lend itself to that imagery and that energy. So the question I asked before pulling the card was, what guidance is available to me right now? And that card is up there. If you've got your notebook and your pen handy, you can take a few notes on what's bubbling up with your intuition as you're looking at it. But I will go through it, especially in case you're just listening to this in audio form. So December's full moon has been associated with the illumination that helps us see clearly. So we pulled the cold moon card. It brings illumination to what's been hidden. You can see in the pictures, really big moon there. And in winter, clarity often comes through stillness or change in perspective rather than doing more and hustling around more. What stands out immediately in this image is steadiness. The woman in the center of it, she is calm. She is standing in her power. She has adapted to the cold. She's not giving us any sense of urgency. She is just being. I love that about this image. You've got a wolf beside her. I look at the wolf and I think instinct. Wolves survive winter by trusting their instincts. They conserve energy. They move with purpose. They don't waste effort. They rely on their awareness. This feels that, to me anyways, it feels very relevant in December. We're often tempted to override our instincts in order to meet expectations. There's a little poem on the card or a couple lines. It says, "Take with thy dreariest of moments, release me for their tongue and nourish me with light." This suggests that winter invites us to acknowledge what feels heavier rather than bypass it. The dreariest of moments aren't meant to be ignored, but they also don't have to be fixed. So we could just carry them with care, be aware of them, and then we can translate or transmute them into something more nourishing. This feels like guidance to let the harder parts of the season have a voice, but not to let them dominate the narrative, right? There's still that big illuminating light there for us. We're always looking for the light. When you can see your situation clearly, you can release what's holding you back. You can see resources that you may have otherwise missed. It's a chance to see support you may have overlooked. So this card suggests, with the cold moon, the woman standing in her power, with the wolf by her side, that you may already have what you need to move through this season with more ease. But you may need to slow down enough to recognize it or adjust your perspective. Perhaps you are focused on what's wrong rather than the pathways to success or alignment or what feels right. And these pathways are available to you right now. So, with that in mind, this writing session is an invitation to pause long enough to hear yourself again. We are going to reclaim intention through clarity and maybe even a shift in perspective. So, from here, we're going to move into our journaling together. Before we start writing, I just want to remind you that your journal is yours. It is private. No one has to see it. You don't have to share it. Nobody has to make sense of it, including you. You could just write what is going on. I'm going to give you one question at a time. Again, that music's going to play while you write. The songs are 2 to 3 minutes long. When the music ends, we'll go on to the next one, but you can always pause to continue your writing if you're in flow. I don't want to stop that. Keep in mind that this doesn't have to be a dissertation, an essay. It just has to be you putting words down on the paper. It could be sentences, could be lists, could be brief thoughts, could be a mind map, whatever you want to make it. Don't put any pressure on yourself for it to be a certain way. Okay. Now that I've gotten all that out of the way, the first question we are going to start with is, what do I want the rest of this season to feel like? I want to focus on feeling rather than logistics. How do you want to feel? And when we talk season, it could be winter as a whole. It could be the holiday season, now through New Year's. Take what you want, leave the rest, right? So however you want to read this question, however it best applies to your life and your situation right now, apply it in that way. So what do I want the rest of this season to feel like? Keep in mind that this is not about what the season should look like, what needs to happen, and it's just, what do you want to feel? And as you're considering this and as you're writing, notice what comes up in your body as you write. The question again, if you're just listening, not watching, what do I want the rest of this season to feel like? And we'll begin. Okay, finish up that last sentence you got, or put me on pause if you don't want to go to the next one quite yet. I'm writing along with you also. So if you are watching this and you're seeing like my head go down and stuff, like I'm doing this with you. I did it before I put it together, but I always love to see what comes up when I write. So, okay, our next prompt. What matters most to me right now? I want to focus on the phrase right now. You don't have to decide what matters most in general, forever and ever, just right now. Make it small, make it something you can really sink your teeth into, something that you can think about that doesn't feel too big. So we're focusing on right now, just this moment in the season you're in. What matters most to me right now? All right. And I'll see you in a few. Okay, finishing up that one. Just finish that sentence that you're on, or pause me if you want to continue and not go on to the next one. Our next question. What would support me most right now? What would support me most right now? And when I say support, it can be emotional, it could be practical, relational, internal, thinking self care, whatever it might be for you, however you read support. There is no expectation that you know how you're going to get that support yet that you need. We're just identifying it, we're naming it, not worrying about solving it, giving ourselves more awareness to our situation. And then maybe some of those resources and that support will come up that maybe we've overlooked. So, what would support me most right now? Okay, welcome back. If you're still needing a couple more seconds, just put me on pause and come back when you're ready. If this writing session felt supportive and you are craving a place to keep writing like this beyond today, I want to let you know about the Writing Wild Society. The Writing Wild Society is a creative sanctuary for women who write to awaken their intuition. So, through prompts, circles, community connection, we use the page as a place to return to our inner truth. There's no pressure to share unless you want to, of course. It's about showing up on the page honestly and letting that ripple through your life. Right now, through December 20th, the Writing Wild Society is open at a special founding member rate of $9 a month. This is the lowest cost investment that you will make. And once you join at this price, you stay at this price forever. If you are feeling called to continue this kind of reflection, especially within a community, you're invited to join us. You can find the link in the show notes, which is just the episode description. I hope to see you there. Thank you for taking the time to write with me today. I know that slowing down can be hard, especially in December. If you are on Substack or YouTube, I would love it if you could share in the comments just a word or a sentence from your writing today. Or if you want to share a little bit about the experience of writing in this community, please do. I would love to hear from you. And if you are on a podcast platform, I would love it if you could like and follow and also do a review for the podcast, especially if you really enjoyed this writing session, so I can bring more of these to the podcast. I will see you back here for more Winter Magic writing sessions right here on Better Days Start Today.